Hey, what's up, listener? Thanks for pressing play on this episode of the Jock and Nerd Podcast. You're going to get our thoughts on the latest seasons of comic book TV.
Geekerific!
That's right, we're talking Gotham, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, The Flash, Arrow, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We rank the seasons from worst to best and take a look at summer TV and next season's slates of brand new comic book superhero TV shows. The bubble is gonna burst soon, people. Enjoy the ride while you can. All in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Tuesday, May 30th, 2017.
Rugboy approved.
Check. Check one. All right. This is really fans out there. Let's give it up.
We jockin', we nerdin'. We funny, disturbing. We jockin', we nerdin'. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah. We jockin', we nerdin'. We funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. We jockin', we nerdin'. We spoiler alert. Give it up one time.
What's up, yo? Welcome back to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
And my name is Anthony!
His name is not Anthony. That is not the Jock.
Anthony!
He's the Rug Boy.
Yeah, Anthony couldn't be here. He has a life.
Yeah, he has a life. Anthony couldn't be here because, listener, we're giving you a very special comic book TV season review show. Geek Boner. Because I've been dying to talk about this season's shows, and since we stopped forcing Anthony to watch the show, he's just pretty much hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
He's too busy stupid Anthony living life, getting life experiences. Boo. Look, if you're a new listener, thanks for joining the show. This is our weekly Geek Fest where we geek out about comic book TV, movies, superheroes, nerd stuff, jock stuff, sometimes mostly nerd stuff. But like I said, this show, I've been dying to talk about. All the comic book TV shows have wrapped up for the summer, for the most part, minus one. We'll get to that.
A lot of them.
A lot of them. So we're going to give our thoughts of this season's comic book TV shows that we used to review episode by episode. So
Holy shit.
remember that? If you were
That was a grind.
if you were a newish listener, maybe you just started listening to us in the past year, the show actually started. Episode 1, there was no news. It was me and Anthony talking about episodes of The Flash, Arrow, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. week by week, episode by episode. Then Ruggs joined the fun. Then last season, we did every episode, a whole season of like 4 or 5 different shows. And then we did it live.
Oh, shit.
Whew, that was a grind. If I was getting paid for this show, Ruggs, I would do that all the time. But we're not getting paid.
No.
We do this for fun, for you, the listener. So that's where you're going to get the show. And shout out to Jimmy Graben, who wrote in last episode. And he's like, hey, maybe we'll get Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. finale thoughts or Gotham. And I'm sure there's other listeners out there who would like to know what we thought of this season's awesome comic book TV shows. And I've been dying to talk about this. And I can't even talk about it with Anthony like during the week because he's not watching it.
Yeah.
He's never going to catch up. He's never going to watch these shows.
He's going back to full jock now, I think.
He is full.
Bro, do you even podcast?
He's
he was reading comic books.
Yeah.
He was watching TV shows.
right.
And he was, I don't know, I think he was living with his parents. And he was like a full nerd, like almost.
That's true. He was living with his parents, and now
He's a big boy.
Now he's a big boy. He's traded in his parents
Now
for
he can
another
get laid.
Yeah, but now he just lives with another married couple, which is his roommates. He just traded one couple for the other couple. The apartment came fully furnished. I don't even know if he has stuff over there. He damn sure doesn't have a computer.
Wait a minute, he lives with a married couple?
I think they're married or it's a couple. I forget. I don't know if they're married, but it's a couple. He just traded one couple for anher couple.
Oh, a younger one.
A younger, hipper
Interesting.
couple.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, and he's busy, going to the EDMs and the other things and the things. Whatever. I got you, Ruggs. Thank God for you and that we're older and we're losers.
I've
We have
been a
no
loser
life.
my whole life.
Right. And we've faithfully made our way through every episode of all these shows.
Yeah, I went through my whole entire 20s and 30s and still like comic books and still watch comic book TV shows and still got made fun of by everyone for it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And then, same with me. I got that out of my system. the going out and not having time to watch stupid people in tights on TV do things that you can't do in real life. But
it's weird because all of these shows came out when we're in our 40s.
Right?
Yeah. I'm 40 years old watching this ridiculous shit. But you gotta do it. Like you gotta do it. If you're a real fan, you do it.
Because when we were kids, what did we have?
Nothing.
Fucking nothing. We had reruns of Lou Ferrigno as Hulk and Linda Carter as Wonder Woman and Adam West as Batman.
I literally watched a show with Jerry O'Connell called My Secret Identity because it just hinted at superheroes.
Yes, I love that show. It was
What
great.
the fuck was that show? Why did I watch it?
And it was the lamest, like he would float away slowly with aerosol cans. That was his power.
He floated with aerosol cans.
It was so horrible.
Oh my God. Like, that's what we were like. We were so like dry on shows that had superheroes in them that I would watch shit like that. If someone wore a mask, I was watching that shit.
And now, yeah, absolutely. And now we have fucking all these masks and Ghost Rider and The Flash and Arrow. Like, it's unbelievable. So I'm going to watch these because we will come from a time where we didn't have this.
Yeah, so even though it pains me sometimes to watch this shit, I watch it anyway because I'm like, listen, this is all going to implode at some point.
Oh, yeah. The bubble's going to burst very soon. We're getting there. But there's a lot of new stuff coming out next year, and we'll get to that at the end. All right, look, enough of this bullshit. Let's get to the TV shows.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Listener, if you want to get in touch with us, if you want to let us know what were your favorite seasons of shows, what was your favorite show this past comic book TV season, just visit jockandnerd.com/contact, and there's the various means of contact there. I'm going to highlight our Facebook group, which you can find at jockandnerd.com/community. It's a lot of fun. We post a lot of geeky, stupid shit there. All the listeners just go and hang out, and it brings me such joy to see like our listeners interacting with each other. We've built this awesome this is a free community. We have a more exclusive pay community. We'll get to that at the midway point. But first, I gotta issue this because we're going to be talking about the latest seasons of Gotham, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, The Flash, Arrow, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, of course, there's going to be spoilers.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
So if you haven't caught up, I don't know, download the show, put it aside, catch up, come back, listen to it. Or if you don't care, just keep listening. We don't give a shit because we made it through another season of comic book TV. So, Ruggs, let's start with Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
Season 3 has not ended yet.
No, it's in the final episodes.
And they're giving us a 2-hour season finale.
Yes.
Next week.
Is this the penultimate episode?
This is the ultimate episode.
Yes.
Technically the penis ultimate episode of Gotham. But, dude, so we started reviewing the show and then we dropped it because we're like, what is this silly, crazy, wacky shit? This is not Batman. They're just shoving everything from Batman.
It enrages me whenever I watch this show. I hate watch it more than anything.
Yeah, me too. Literally at the end of every show, I'm just like, what the fuck, Gotham? Like, what is going on? I mean, it's like a soap opera on fucking steroids. Crazy.
It's really, really bad. There is a theatricality to it that I do like, and I do like the production value of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a real cheap show.
No, and there's certain performances that are good. There's good actors on it. There are some good things.
But what they do to the characters and the history and I mean, like, I was kind of like primed for this because Smallville kind of shit all over Superman. Like, it just took a huge raging diarrhea, colon cleanse all over Superman's history. And Gotham is just doing it even worse. It's like it's vomiting and then doing a colon cleanse and just blasting out like everything but the corn in your colon.
It's literally everything in the Batman universe except for Batman.
Yeah.
So, just an example, this season of Gotham, like, this show is so crazy. Like you said, like, it reminds me of like a Tim Burton mixed with Batman 66. Sometimes it's goofy. Sometimes it's super violent and dark. And then it goes back to being goofy, like, all in the same episode. It makes no sense. Real quick, like, the only way I can describe this season of Gotham is just listen to a couple of things that have happened in this season. Oswald becomes mayor of Gotham.
Okay.
Fish Mooney, not dead, alive.
Mm-hmm.
Gordon shoots Lee's husband.
Yeah.
They introduce the Court of Owls.
Yes.
There's a Bruce Wayne clone.
Hugo Strange
creates this thing. The so-called Joker, Jerome Velasquez, gets his face cut off and staples it back on.
Yeah.
Edward Nygma kind of becomes the Riddler.
Yeah.
Riddler shoots the Penguin, just like Penguin shot Fish Mooney last season. But of course he's not dead. Comes back to life. Ivy is completely recasted with an older person.
Oh, shit.
Like, what the shit is this?
It's dumb. It's the dumbest show ever.
Oh, my God.
But,
and what's interesting about this season is they kind of broke it up into storylines, kind of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did this season. Where they had, like, Mad City and Heroes Rise and blah, blah, blah. And, it was nice structurally, but Jesus Christ, the pace of this show. Every episode is insane.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and this show did this thing where they're breaking it up into 3 or 4 episode arcs.
Yeah, they call them like pods. Well, S.H.I.E.L.D. called it pods or whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
And it works for both shows.
Yeah.
Because it kind of fragments the thing into smaller stories, since they're not dragging things across, and everything gets resolved a little bit easier to digest. But at the same time, I feel like this Mad Hatter thing has been going on way too long.
Yeah.
There's things that they should just close the door on some of these things and not drag them out. And not only that, but doing this repetitive stuff, like Fish Mooney gets killed, then the Penguin gets killed, and then it's just really retarded that, like, there's no progression. Like, let's move past. It's like we're kind of the same characters are always around. Like, I don't want to think about it's cool to see the Riddler kind of progress, but it's always focused so much on these characters. I want to pull away from them a little bit and go into something else for a while.
But what else is there? Because the whole premise of the show is flawed. You don't have the villains before you have the Batman.
Yeah.
This is an alternate version. This is, it's an ultimate Batman. It's their own thing. And, it's just a guilty pleasure for me at this point. I'm sure the same for you, Ruggs.
Well, at this point in time, this is the reason why I watch it. And this is the dumbest reason to watch a show, especially if you're a nerd, is that this is the only show that you could have on with other people on, that are not comic book geeks, and they can get into it and watch it, because there's not, like, even though there's people running around in costume and stuff every once in a while, it's still dark enough, and it's still, like, performed well, and it's got a high budget and a production value to it, that it doesn't come off as cheesy right off the bat.
No, and they know how to push people's buttons and keep you hooked and do their cliffhangers. And I agree. I think, like Carrie Sims said when she was on, like, the mask turned her off on Arrow. And a lot of people, I think, get turned off when everyone is in costume. But that's the shit I want to see,
if it's done well.
So there was a few highlights. What do you have any highlights from Gotham season 3? I'll start. I actually thought the Jerome episode was very interesting, because when they do the Hall of Mirrors and Bruce, like, beats him down, like, that's the most Batman thing I've seen on the show. It was Batman versus the Joker, and he physically beat him down. I was like, wow, that's the closest this thing has ever gotten to, like, a Batman thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I can't remember how far back that the season went because it's fragmented. Was Pee Wee Herman in this season or the season before?
He was in the last season, but he came back when Nygma was fucking with Penguin. Remember, he hired a guy, and, like, it was like a ghostly image.
Yeah, there was a couple of cool things with Nygma going on. He was actually a decent villain this year. But now that he killed the Penguin and he came back...
there's a lot of gang war, and then this whole Court of Owls thing. I like the relationship between Penguin and Nygma. Like, those two guys playing these characters, they're very entertaining.
There's like a love triangle.
Yeah, like he was in Ed was in love with Penguin was in love with Ed, to the point where he brings, like, there's another girl that looks like his blonde girlfriend, the librarian, and then he kills her, and It's just very confusing.
It's really weird the shit that they do on that show.
Here's another weird thing. When clone Bruce pushes Selina out the window, and then they do the fucking Batman Returns thing, like with Michelle Pfeiffer with the cats.
Yeah.
And then Ivy brings her back, and apparently, is she going to have powers now? Like, there's so many things I don't understand. Is she going to have powers? Apparently, next, in the 2-hour season finale, we may see her with a whip and a costume and some other shit. Jessica Lucas continues to be hot as shit as fucking Tigress.
Yes.
So, and then what about Barnes turning into the executioner with this whole Jervis
That
touch?
I didn't like. I did not like that at all. I thought that was a bridge too far.
Yeah.
I like it to have Fish Mooney back.
She's great. She's over the top. It fits the show. Everything is over the top. So, like you said, they're still doing this thing with the Mad Hatter virus, and in the last episode, like this fucking bomb goes off, and who is Bruce training with? Who is that old white guy?
I don't know.
I thought it was gonna be Ra's al Ghul, but
no,
as he's dying,
he tells him to go get Ra's al Ghul.
As he's dying, he goes, find the demon's head. Fulfill your destiny. I was like, oh snap! But
what do they call the old guy? They just called him the sensei. They kept calling him
sensei. They thought he was the leader, but he's like, look, I don't really work for the Court of Owls. It's very confusing. He keeps putting a pin to Bruce's head to get him to go into his mind and release the pain from. And I don't understand what's up with Bruce. Why is he like Gotham must fall? Did he brainwash him? I don't know what the.
Yeah, I think he did something to give him a little bit of a brainwashing or psychic suggestion or something.
And then, like, Lee injects herself with the disease and then buries Gordon and gives him the virus, and then he injects himself with the, like, what the shit is
and
this?
Then the bomb goes off and everybody gets that red gas and gets...
Why are you putting people through this?
What the fuck is going on?
It's, like, out of control. Like, they really are just... They don't give a fuck.
How about, you know what I enjoyed? Remember the Penguin, Riddler set that totally 1966 Adam West Batman convoluted trap to kill Penguin on the car with the ice and the chains when he could have just...
That?
It was so silly. No, I mean, I was funny because they're like, I can't believe you're doing this. Like, you could just shoot him. Yeah, you're going to do this convoluted shit.
Oh,
what the fuck is this?
This is some of the most terrible... There's a couple of shows that are just so terrible that, like, I fought myself to turn it off while I was watching it. I'm like, I can't. Why am I watching this? And this is one of the shows. That was one of the ones that I wanted to do it with. And the other one was Legend of Tomorrow. When we get to it, I'll tell you about that one.
I will say this show may be possibly better than Iron Fist, though, a little bit. I don't know.
Oh, shit.
Well, in pure entertainment value,
yes.
And then the fact that you can watch this with anyone and they can just kind of get some kind of entertainment value out of it. Because, look, you need things that have a great show. You need, like, serious acting.
Yeah.
You need production value, like money invested into the show.
Yeah.
You need hot chicks.
Yeah.
And you need blood and violence and stuff.
This show has all of that.
Yeah,
and,
it has everything.
And a lot of people really think this is, like, they love this show, but it is a lot of people who aren't into, like, the super hardcore comic book nerd shows. It's very interesting.
Yeah. But you know what? You could do a lot better than Gotham. I just wish they never went into the Joker. I just wish that they left that untouched. I think they shouldn't have had Bruce kind of start training with some weird people. Like, I don't know. They should just get rid of Bruce Wayne. He should just go off and not be part of the main storyline. He should just be gone.
I mean, so, and then they find out
bring Falcone back, damn it.
Falcone, oh yeah, he was in there briefly during the wedding. But Bruce finds out that the Court of Owls was really the one responsible for killing his parents, and then the Talons, and he just stands there and they kill. So all the Court of Owls is now dead.
That's not good for Bruce's character to see.
Why would he just stand there? And then he presses the button and what's going on? Like, this would inherently change Bruce Wayne.
No, someone should. I mean, that writer's room needs to be, like, completely cleansed.
I mean, they're just like, fuck it. We're just going to go. I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to this 2-hour season finale because how much more crazy.
Well, you got to watch it just to see what happens. But, I mean.
Absolutely.
But that's the thing. Like, do they care? They're just like, look, listen, this is our show.
No, they don't care.
We don't give a fuck. We're just going to do whatever we want. We're not going to be shackled by the comics. But I'm like, but then why do it? Then why do a Batman? Why do stuff with things that already exist if you're not going to
Like, you could have done this show with an adult Batman. Like, how awesome would that would have been?
You could have just done a new show with all new characters. Make a crazy city and fucking, you know, why do you need to do it on Batman?
They're really vomiting just Batman shit on this show for no reason.
Yeah.
It's hilariously bad. All right, let's move on. So, 2-hour season finale next week. We'll give you our brief thoughts whenever that comes out, but I'm sure it's not going to change much. Supergirl.
Okay.
Second season of Supergirl.
Well, she says Supergirl.
I'm Supergirl.
She really leans on that S in the beginning.
Look, we got to meet Mon-El from Daxam.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a romance. I like the Mon-El. I like kind of what they were doing there.
Yeah.
I like seeing Linda Carter as the president again. And,
sure.
And the reveal that she was actually an alien.
That I didn't like, but go ahead.
And we got Superman. And possibly one of the best live-action Supermans we've seen on TV in recent times.
He's pretty decent.
He's not the Tyler Hoechlin best live-action Supes, possibly. But this show reminds me of the joy and enthusiasm the Flash had early on. And I think it improved the second season.
Right.
And the finale was kind of nuts with Mon-El's parents and her mom. Oh, how about Terry Hatcher? That's a nice little callback.
Yeah.
From Lois Lane to playing. She did a good job playing a villain.
Yeah.
And then I even like, James becomes the Guardian. Callista Flockhart's back. She had a great line where he saves her and she's in Guardian costume and she's like, "Thanks, James." He goes, "I'm not James." She's like, I can see your eyes, James. Which I thought was pretty funny. And then she knew. We find out that she knew that Kara was Supergirl at the very end.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If she could tell that he's then
right
in the mask, the Guardian, then she's got to know about Supergirl.
We got the Luthor's family, Mama Luthor and Sister Luthor.
Right.
I like that. A lot of Martian Manhunter. We had that speakeasy, the underground alien speakeasy bar.
I fucking hate that thing with a passion, but that's fine.
Wynn was dating an alien and got it on with the alien. That was interesting.
Yeah.
But so the finale, they have to set off this bomb that fills the atmosphere with lead, which is like the Daxamites' version of kryptonite.
Yeah.
And she has to make this hard decision, because Mon-El will also be affected, and he is, and they put him in the ship, and he gets sucked into the Phantom Zone, I guess. I don't really know. And then the crazy twist that we go back to when Krypton exploded. So not only did they set off a pod with Superman, then another pod gets off with a teenage Kara Zor-El. I guess there's another pod that left that nobody knew about with somebody. We don't know who it is. What did you make of that?
I don't know. I got a Doomsday vibe, or Doomsday-esque vibe from there.
Ah, interesting.
So
interesting.
And what about Power Girl?
Oh, wait. What's the deal with Power Girl? Could that be Power Girl in the pod?
There's two Supergirls, and one's Supergirl, one's Power Girl.
Ooh, yeah. They were like a weird, shady-looking characters that set this pod
I don't
up.
think they're going to do Power Girl, but I mean, they could, because Power Girl's kind of like the other Supergirl.
What's her deal? I know a lot of people love the Power Girl, and I was never really into the Power Girl.
It's DC, so the whole entire history of Power Girl is kind of
been changed. It's
shady as fuck and confusing as fuck. I mean, you could Google it, and you're going to be confused. Just read two sentences.
Fuck that. Was she supposed to be? Is Power Girl a Krypton? A Kryptonite? A Kryptonian? What's the word?
Yeah,
she is.
God, it's confusing. I'm going to Google it right now.
And so we also got Alex coming out and being gay and starting a relationship with Maggie, which I thought some of those things were very heartfelt.
But they're going to end that relationship super fast.
She is not a series regular. The girl who plays Maggie next season.
She's not coming back.
She's not coming back.
Power Girl, also known as Kara Zor-El.
What?
And Karen Starr is the cousin of DC's flagship hero, Superman, but from an alternative universe in the fictional multiverse.
Oh,
so it's an alternate version of Kara Zor-El. Damn, I can't say her name.
So that little clip they showed us could have been like an alternate universe.
It could have been, but I don't think it is.
I wonder who that is.
It could be anything.
I mean, again, the show's got a lot of heart, and it is what it is. I enjoyed it for what it's worth.
It's gotten better.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think that Calista Flockhart being back is not going to do it any favors. I think I liked it better without Calista Flockhart.
Well, I like that she wasn't in it a lot. Like, she just kind of showed up towards
like,
the end of the run.
She's great, but she automatically changes the tone of the show.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. I liked it when Snapper Carr was in charge. Like, that kind of worked.
You want to know what's great about Snapper Carr?
Yeah.
He's never in the fucking show. He's in it for like 2 seconds. He's a dick, and they can move on.
And then he's out. He's just barking orders. Yeah.
But when you have Calista Flockhart, she's such a big name that you got to give her a lot of screen time. And that eats up the show.
It's the Cat Grant show whenever she's on.
So
it's
we can't have her in small doses. I don't know if she's going to want to just do the small doses, but they got to keep her out of the show because she takes away from the main character too much.
How about the fact that when the Clark came back at the end, he was like mind controlled, and Kara beat him down pretty good. She beat the shit out of him. I was like, is this they're making her stronger than him?
No, I mean, look, I think that just like anybody, you get your ass kicked by what kind of day you're having. You know,
that's true. You have
one
an off
day, it's not your day. That wasn't his day that day.
Yeah, I also liked at the end where McGann shows up and a bunch of white Martians show up to help, and but I don't know. It's Supergirl. It's fun. It's still fun.
They never really see. That's the thing with Supergirl. You're always going to feel shortchanged because the amount of things she could do with her powers are never even touched on, and they keep on depowering her, like when it's convenient for them to all of a sudden she can do anything, but all of a sudden in this scene she can't do that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And it's very off. They never really kind of nail it. Like her powers are always all over the place. So it's confusing to watch, and it's frustrating sometimes when you're like, but she's Supergirl. She could just do this. So it's kind of weird. If you're going to do a superhero with this kind of power, you got to embrace it. You got to be creative. You got to come up with challenges that are good.
Yeah, it's still a little convenient, but lots of nods to the DC universe, and she did get a chance to cross over to the CW verse in that fucking Invasion crossover, and then the horrible Flash musical episode. We'll get to that. But this Invasion thing was like also kind of a bust with her. Clearly, she wasn't meant to be a big part in the Supergirl episode. And that gets a little muddy too later, but she's still, I mean, I think it's good for girls to look up to, and Melissa Benoist plays her really well and very earnest, and you kind of root for her. You know, you watch the season and you're rooting for Kara.
They created it into a more manageable show. They moved the show, to Vancouver or wherever the fuck they shoot it up in Canada.
Yes. Where they shoot all the other shows.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it seems more manageable. They got rid of Calista Flockhart because she's probably drawing a pretty big paycheck. And
she doesn't want to move to Vancouver.
Yeah. So they're making the show more manageable. It didn't really seem like it did drop a little bit in quality, but it wasn't like a noticeable amount as far as like production value.
No, I mean it's on par with the CW shows.
Yeah.
It was a good ending for the season. Okay. Well, let's move on to another show that we like to call Doctor Who Cares. Yeah. That's the second season of Legends of Tomorrow.
Now, you said that you liked this season, and I was like, what the fuck are you watching? But
I like this season better than the first season. I thought it was a lot of fun. I liked them getting rid of Rip. I know some people like the Rip Hunter.
I think that's a great idea. I think having Katie Lotz as the leader of the team is a great idea.
I thought the chemistry was great with the cast. I like them fucking things up and trying to figure out what to do. I like the bad guys. I like that they brought this Legion of Doom with Damien Darhk and Malcolm Merlin and Reverse Flash. I thought that was kind of fun.
They just mishandled, as I said, you have powers that are like crazy and then you mishandle them.
Yeah.
Like in one instance, the Reverse Flash could do all this shit and then all of a sudden he doesn't do it.
Well, yeah, like the Black Flash is chasing him, so he can't like stay in one place, which is kind of convenient.
Basically, no one should be able to hold on to the Spear of Destiny without the fucking Reverse Flash grabbing it. There's times where he's just standing there looking at them, handling the spear, and I'm like, you can just grab it.
Grab it. It's right there.
You're the fucking Flash.
It reminds me of that Simpsons episode when Krusty bet against the Harlem Globetrotters with the mob, and he's watching the game, and the guy's spinning the ball, and nobody's grabbing it, and Krusty's like, he's just spinning the ball! Just grab it from him!
Yeah.
It's exactly like that. Now, the Spear of Destiny bit, where they rewrote history, I thought that was kind of fun, and then to do what they said they should never do. Like, again, this show, kind of like the last show, it's all willy-nilly.
The only good thing about that whole thing was seeing the two girls in the leather. That's it.
Fight each other?
Well,
Doom World. It was called Doom
World.
Yeah.
Well, basically, White Canary and the Vixen were in like black leather, spandex.
Oh, that's right. They were.
I was like, they look pretty good.
Yeah.
I like these costumes. It reminded me of Black Canary. I liked it. But I don't know. I like the mom's basement shit. That was pretty funny, and the sandwiches, and I don't know. I didn't like this whole thing this season that much. I really didn't. I thought the general setup of having the three villains was cool, and having like it's more interesting than the last season with what's his name? What was the name of the guy?
Vandal Savage. I hated it. It was too much. The Hawk
Vandal
people.
Savage was a grinning idiot. I didn't like him at all. So these bad guys were actually a little bit more threatening, and we know them a little bit more. And they're kind
that's
of
what I like. Yeah,
they're like fan favorites at this point. So you can't really lose with that, but I think that they've really, I don't know. This show to me, I can't get into it.
I mean, I really enjoy the Katie Lotz as the White Canary. I think she's really
the saving grace of that.
Yeah, yes, she really holds this whole thing together. And it's mindless. It's mindless fun. It was better than the first season, but
the thing that makes it fun is that, unlike most of the other teams, they're actually fun when they interact with each other.
The chemistry is great.
There's a good chemistry, but as far as what the characters can do with their powers and how they use them, and what they don't do with the powers, and kind of things that they leave out, it's weird.
It's weird to watch. If you watch, so it had Dominic Purcell and Wentworth Miller playing over the top characters, but I love Heatwave and I love this Leonard Snart. But then if you watch Prison Break and then you watch them act in that, like, it's very subdued. It's so interesting. They're like almost normal in Prison Break, and you're like, wow, they're really fucking hamming it up for the show.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And but I don't know. I appreciate that. Mick Rory, he has some great lines.
They usually give him pretty good lines, but he's inconsistent because he was that fucking he was the bad guy in the Mask and the Time Lords.
That's right.
That's
right. Yeah,
they made him smart and everything. They made him like a really formidable person, and all of a sudden he's back to being an idiot again.
He's dumb again. That's a good point. But so that season finale, like, she rewrites everything back, Sarah, and it had that one scene with her and Laurel. That was kind of nice, where she realizes this is the Spear of Destiny, and you get a scene with them together,
right?
And then what happens? So Vixen leaves, but apparently she's going to be on the team next season for a little bit at least. Did she die? She didn't die. I can't remember. It was so long ago.
Vixen decides to stay.
She's staying.
Yeah, she's about to leave. Go back to 1941 or whatever. And then Nick Zano's like, I want to come with you. She's like, well, don't come with me because I'm going to stay here.
Oh, that's right. How about they were like banging in the middle of like war and missions?
Oh, yeah.
And that was crazy.
In the season finale, he sees her and she's in their black leather and he's like, we had sex and you liked it. Don't you remember me?
Yes, in the Doom World. Oh, and then the very end of the season finale, they something happens and they get pulled out of the time stream and they land in LA 2017 and there's fucking dinosaurs running around.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, guys, we broke time. I was like, oh, boy, this is going to be ridiculous
They're like
again.
the worst people to be in charge of time.
Yes. But I think, and then Rip like lets her be the captain.
Yeah, he bounces because he realizes that nobody likes his character.
I mean, the stuff with like where they did the George Lucas and Star Wars and Star Trek or whatever wasn't almost going to be made. That was kind of fun stuff playing with that kind of stuff.
Hey, they swung out a couple of pitches.
Yeah, I think it's Doctor Who cares still, but fun. Just background, mindless. Like you don't really have to worry about time rules because Stein has a daughter, and did they told her right that she was an aberration.
Yeah.
And that's that. So those three, of course, these are probably not the most dedicated we were. We're going to talk about the three that we love.
I actually enjoy Supergirl better than Gotham and Legends of Tomorrow.
All right, hold on. We're going to rank these at the end of the show, and I'm going to get your numbers. But for right now, listener, we're going to take a quick break, play some promos, and we will continue.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Blake from the History of Bad Ideas. And we'll get back to your regularly scheduled program here in just a second, geek listeners. But we do a weekly podcast called The History of Bad Ideas.
Yeah, well, we'll discuss things like television or movies or music or games or any other thing that falls into our geek-related podcast knowledge.
You can find us on Geek Life Radio, Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, or Radio-Blitz, Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, or you can listen to us whenever the hell you want on iTunes and Stitcher.
Check us out. Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
Do you like sci-fi, AI, and technology? Do you enjoy going on tangents and down random rabbit holes of a subject? Then join me and my friends each week on Brokebot Mountain as some artificially intelligent people attempt to walk through a maze that explores themes of existence and free thought in sci-fi TV, movies, and books. The conversations are unique and bring an unusual perspective to the genre and can literally go anywhere. And we do mean anywhere. You can find us at blazingcariboustudios.com or look for Brokebot Mountain on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play, or anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Hi there. This is Brett Stewart from Geek Cinema Society. Are you a film lover? Do you consider yourself a connoisseur of the silver screen? Well, Geek Cinema Society is a weekly roundtable program where each episode we touch on a film considered pivotal to geek culture. From Blade Runner to The Goonies to Mad Max, we dig into it all. Plus, our guest each week hasn't seen that week's film until the episode. Join me and my co-hosts, Nicole Davis and David Luzader, on a spectacularly fun journey that hits your podcast feed every Sunday. Available on Blazing Caribou Studios.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Ruggs, we got another new patron this week.
Jock and Nerd.
Yahoo!
Whoa.
Shout out to Joe from work. You heard him on our Rogue One review. He's a new member of the Jock and Nerd fan club on Patreon, which, listener, if you've been enjoying the show, you want more show, you should definitely consider joining us.
How many patrons do we got so far? We got like 12?
I think that makes it at 11.
Wow.
We shouted out everyone last episode because we had 2, but we've gotten 3 in like the last week and a half, 2 weeks.
We got to keep this up. I mean, we got like so many listeners, and I'm like, this paltry amount.
11 patrons. Listen,
11. I mean, I'm thankful for the 11, but I mean, come on, there's so many people downloading our shit.
Those are 11 of my favorite listeners. But if you just go to jockandnerd.com/Patreon, help us support the show, donate financially, $1 a month. It comes to like a quarter an episode. You help us keep the show going. And there is an RSS link that you could put in your podcast app, and you will instantly get access to an exclusive podcast feed that's got like 10 hours of bonus content, post shows, whole episodes.
And it's growing.
And it's growing every week. Stories of Anthony's conquests in Vegas. And you'll learn what a guava dolce is. And all the geekery that happens outside of the recorded show. It's a lot of fun. Let's grow this. Just join the fan club. jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
Do it.
Do it now. All right, I'm going to hit another spoiler because I love your spoiler alerts.
Prepare to be spoiled.
All right, we are going to talk about this season of The Flash. Season 3 gave us a lot of crazy, wacky things. And, well, Ruggs, I don't know if this show got any better after season 2.
No, I think that this is, it's starting to stall a little bit. Just like Arrow did.
Yes.
In third season.
Yes. If we're kind of getting more of the same, we've got so we mentioned this, they did the Invasion crossover. We got to see Gorilla City.
Okay, whatever.
Some of the good stuff, we got to meet a goofy H.R. Wells who wasn't a scientist. I love that Wells. I thought Tom Cavanaugh, man, like you forget that this is the same guy who played like this serious straight Wells from the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Then we get another speedster big bad in Savitar, which was another predictable reveal.
Yeah.
I think we all knew coming that it turned out to be future Barry, a time remnant Barry Allen, who's way emo. But like this whole season, he's such a dick. He's just like making stupid choices. It's so angsty. The whole thing is a race to stop what he saw, which is Savitar kill Iris. But you kind of knew that was always going to happen.
I didn't get it. I didn't get the whole way that it played out. Like when you get to the end, Savitar finally kills Iris, but it's not Iris. It's H.G. Wells or whatever.
It's HR with the transmogrifier.
Yes, but like, doesn't he know that he killed the wrong guy? Doesn't he know that now because he knows what Barry knows?
Well, at the time, that was the thing. They didn't tell Barry they were doing this switcheroo. They telegraphed this, though, the episode before, because they did the whole, remember this transmogrifier thing? And you're like, oh, that's going to be fucking HR. And they let you off the hook pretty quickly at the beginning of the episode where the drumsticks fall out of her pocket. But the whole trick was Barry cannot know this. And so they show you the flashback where he goes and he saves her and he switches her out and gets caught.
Yeah, but he can go back and forth in time. Can't Savitar just go back and change things? I mean,
once he found out, he probably could have.
She's still alive. He can still go kill her.
That's true. I was like, well, just kill her now, and then the same thing will happen. And he has to like run from the time paradox, which that doesn't make sense. If that wasn't her, he instantly should have been like erased.
Yes.
From the time stream. But instead they're like, oh, it's going to take a couple of hours. Why? Why is it going to take a couple hours? Explain that. It makes no sense.
But he can still kill her.
He could just go run and find her and kill her.
Yeah. I don't get it. It was just, I was just like, wait, he's still alive. He can still kill her. Why does that make sense?
I don't know. So the other things bug me in this episode, like the whole Killer Frost thing. Like they found a way to subdue that with the necklace, but then she got hurt and she was dying. And what's his name? Julian pulls the necklace off, where then she turns into Killer Frost and she gets healed. And then I'm like, okay, she's fixed. Put the fucking necklace back on her. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, that's how you stop. But then they got a whole play out this thing where, oh, I'm bad, but I'm Caitlin, but I'm Killer Frost. And at the end, she's like, look, I'm not Caitlin, but I'm not Killer Frost. I don't know who I am.
That's textbook. Write the show.
Yeah.
Move the plot.
Figure it out later.
Yeah. Makes sense later. And that's annoying to me because if you're watching the show, you're going to watch it to that level and then analyze it and know that that's a bunch of bullshit.
Yes.
And it's annoying.
The headline returned. So that's confusing too. Like her byline changed because she died, but then it changed back, but the Flash still disappears. And then when he goes to visit himself in the future to like figure out what the fuck's going on, that was very confusing.
Yeah. I'm done with this time shit. I'm done with it. It's fucking.
They had nobody else to make a bad guy except for Barry him fucking self.
The reason why the Terminator worked is because it was one time flaw. It was one little time trip.
But they fucked that up with Genesis.
Yeah, and then they started, when you start doing multiple time jumps and then in different timelines, you fuck it up. You ruin the elegance of the story. And this is what they do with Flash. Now they're doing this time stuff. I mean, is it what the comics are like? I don't read Flash comics. Is he constantly going in and out of time fucking with things all the time?
I don't know. There's a lot of speedsters. I mean, so look, the whole season started with them kind of blowing their opportunity with Flashpoint. It's like it's a one episode thing. It's going to be rewritten. Like they could have fleshed that out. But then the whole season, he's like, this is my fault. I caused Flashpoint. Oh, I'm so bad. I got to fix this. I'm like, this is getting to be.
Yeah, he clearly didn't learn from his mistakes because he's running back through time.
Yeah, he keeps going back and changing time. But
look, to be on the positive side, this has got some good acting. Some of the best acting in some of these shows.
Yeah, the heart is still there. The relationships between Joe and Barry and Cisco's pretty great, but even him in the beginning of the season, he was so mopey and it was just annoying. I was like, I want the fucking old Cisco back. What is this?
Yeah.
The Wells thing, though, that really got me because, like, they gave him a love interest and they were really cute together, and he was pretty much useless aside from inspiring people.
I thought that whole love triangle thing was disgusting. I didn't like it at all.
With the triangle with who?
No, that whole thing that they did with the scientist.
With the Tracy?
Yeah, the blonde. I don't like it. I didn't like it. It was so cheesy.
She had to build the Speed Force cannon. Lots of. It
didn't work for me. I'm sorry. It didn't work.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's a shame because the first couple of seasons of the show were there was a spark there. There was
that first season of Flash was way better.
Yes.
That first season is just really good. You know, you had the Reverse Flash. You didn't know who it was going to be. You had a lot of things going on. You had like a little thing with Iris dating a dude, and Barry was jealous, and there's like a lot of cool like little things going on that was angsty. And in this, it's like they're spinning their wheels. They're doing the same thing over and over again. The same speedster, bad guy. Who is it? Like they just did that.
They've done the same thing for 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Like first you have H. Wells, who's really Eobard Thawne, who's really Reverse Flash. All right. Then you got Jay Garrick, who's really Hunter Zollivan, who's really fucking Zoom. Okay. Now you have fucking Future Barry, who's really just Future Time Remnant Barry, who's Savitar.
See, you don't have to do this. Like there's shows that have this without all of these figuring out who the bad guy is every season.
I mean, I liked when the initial tease of Savitar, and I was like, holy shit, this guy does know everything. And with Julian being the alchemist and the whole stone thing and trapping him in the Speed Force. So in the finale, they trick Savitar, and then he's like, oh shit, I need to become a god. And then the most convoluted explanation of what he's gonna do, he's like, I want Cisco to fix the time cannon so that I spread myself throughout all time so I'm everywhere at once. Like, what the fuck? What does that even mean?
He just is scared of that thing that's trying to get him.
The Black Flash is getting everybody.
Yeah.
But then okay, wait, there's so many things wrong with this season because the whole season is about saving Iris, right? This season is probably the least amount of character development Iris has gotten any season. Like, she had no agency. Like, they did nothing. Like, what? She was never at work. Does she have a life outside Star Labs? They're always hanging out in Star Labs. Basically, she was just there to be killed.
Pretty much.
It's sad.
They had she said yes to getting married, then she said no to getting married.
And she said yes again. So then Cisco tricks Savitar and makes this machine release Jay Garrick, and he shows up because he was the prisoner in the Speed Force that the Speed Force needs a speedster to keep it balanced. So he comes out and then there's all these fucking time storms and like on a dime, Barry, just from going like, oh, I won, we beat him, we can get married. And then he's like, oh, well, I guess I got to go now, Iris. See ya, bye. Sorry. This is the right thing to do.
Yeah, that was very awkwardly done.
He turned on a dime in 5 seconds. I was like, what? What? That's it? You're like, nah, you know what? I'm going to go do this. This is my fault.
And you're forgetting the worst part of the Flash season, which was the musical episode, by the way.
Oh, God. That was that
original song was cringe-worthy
Super
to the
Friends
10th degree.
Yes, we're Soup. I don't know how it goes, but they're singing about Super Friends.
Oh, my God. I wish I could flush my head in the toilet.
Was that Abracadabra was the bad guy? Was that Supergirl? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
That's the other problem. We're getting old. I barely remember.
No, this is shit that we watched like a month and a half ago or 2 months ago. So you get so many things to remember. But yeah, definitely not Flash's best outing. No. They got to change the formula of the show. You can't do the same thing 3 times. You can't.
Yeah, they said that there's not going to be a speedster villain. They name drop this guy. I didn't even catch this. It's coming back next season. They name drop this guy who goes by DeVoe. Somebody named DeVoe twice. DeVoe is a comic book villain who went by the name The Thinker, another great DC fucking name, of course.
And they forgot about Belle Biv.
Yeah, what about Belle and Biv? They got to go back in time to get Belle, Biv, and complete the trio.
Yes.
What about New Edition? So the Thinker could be the bad guy. So, but what happened? Like, how much you want to bet by the end of the season 4 premiere, Barry's like out of the fucking prison already, and he's back, and it's all been resolved, and like it would be nice to not have him.
Not even the first 5 minutes of the episode will be out.
He'll be back like they did this season. It would be nice to not have him, and maybe there's another Flash. Maybe Wally steps up, and I don't know. Maybe there's another speedster that I don't know.
If I read Flash and I knew enough about Flash, I could come up with a great scenario. But
it's based. I mean, you got to see the Top and Mirror Master. Like there were some fun villains, but wow, it was not the strongest season for the Flash. And I'll wait and see what happens when it comes back. All right, that's about it. Any other thoughts about the Flash?
It needs to do something different next year. They can't keep.
They need to capture that spark from the first season.
Yeah,
like it needs to be this joyful, the sense of joy again and wonder. Okay, let us move on to Arrow.
Yeah,
season 5, the season where the flashbacks were promised to come full circle, and they did. And I'll tell you, I really like this season of Arrow. I think
it was better than the last couple seasons.
The last 2, I think it's up there with like the second season, a little bit the third season, but it got darker and it kind of had that bleakness back in it. And he's got a new team. I like the team. I like Curtis. I like Wild Dog and the new Black Canary. And him and Felicity weren't a thing, not mostly, but they did fuck in the cave in that one flashback.
Yes, they did.
And you had Felicity dealing with like some hackers in the form of Helix. That was kind of interesting, but really the standout was fucking Prometheus and Adrian Chase, because it was amazing how Chase was ahead of him the whole time. He had him at every step. And I was like, damn, dude, this guy's got your fucking number.
I still feel like that the flashbacks really like let the gas out of every single episode. Like they really slow down everything and they don't help the story at all.
No, they had to get through it.
They got to stop with these flashbacks. I'm sorry. They got to cut them out.
At least we got to see Dolph Lundgren.
So that's a huge flaw in this show that they've now married themselves to, and they got to move on from it. Second thing was that Prometheus, it was ramping up for a while, and and then they had Vigilante. They just never resolved Vigilante.
What the fuck happened to Vigilante?
He just disappeared.
To me, this was the biggest twist because I could have swore that they were telling me Adrian Chase was Vigilante.
Yeah.
I would have bet money on that. And then I was like, what? And then what happened to fucking Vigilante?
Because they had no way to solve that story, so they just hoped that everybody forgot about him.
He just dropped. He just disappears.
Yeah.
Did not make a lot of sense.
And not even in the finale he shows up.
No explanation. I have an article about like what happened to Vigilante. The last we saw, he was like tied up against the thing and he had caught him, but then he disappeared. I don't know. I don't remember. That was very strange and it really didn't go anywhere.
And they literally found the new Black Canary in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, how did she come from that?
They just like, we found a Black Canary, and they're like, okay, let's go get her.
Throw her in, give her the cry.
Yeah, well, she had the cry.
She was a meta. She's an actual meta, right? With the cry.
She conveniently had the cry.
Which is weird. I mean, I like the kind of Artemis and the betrayal like that. I didn't see that coming. That was pretty good. Let's just talk about the leading up to the end, because it ramped up pretty good the second half towards the finale. Flashback-wise, it did promise him, put him back on the island, and I like, remember when he fought Slade at the end of season 2 and they were cutting those flashbacks where he's fighting him on the island and he's fighting him in the present? Like, I thought they did that again really well in this season finale, where you see him on the island fighting Dolph Lundgren, the Bratva guy, and then you see him in present time. One of the best things was when Chase got Oliver to admit that he actually enjoyed killing. That I was surprised, and I appreciated that moment because he broke him.
Yeah.
And then the whole rest of the season. And so in the finale, you see he's like, no, while he killed Dolph Lundgren in the flashbacks, on the same moment, he did refuse to kill Chase, which was not a good idea, really.
The thing that kind of bothers me about this show is not the writing so much, because the writing it's fine for what they do. It's just that they have all these characters and they kill them off and then they keep bringing them back. And then there's too many of them. Like, how many guys, like, just like Flash has too many speeds, there's too many guys who shoot arrows in Arrow. There's just too many. Prometheus didn't have to shoot arrows.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
They could have not, because you got Prometheus, like, if you just go down the list of people, there's like 10 people that shoot arrows.
You got Malcolm Merlin.
Yes.
Prometheus.
Yes.
All of the Al Ghul's.
Yes.
Which is like 3 of them.
Artemis.
Artemis was another archer.
Speedy.
Oh, shit, I forgot about Speedy.
Dead Speedy.
That's right.
And Arrow. What are we up to at this point?
I lost count. That's like 7.
Yes, that's too many people. That's way too many.
It's it's just like they do with the speedsters.
Prometheus did not have to need to shoot arrows. Artemis did not. You should have not even had Artemis. I think that's great to have variety.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Speedy there that, whatever, his sister. And then there's the dead Speedy. There's the other guy, Arsenal.
Roy. Yes. Yeah. Roy, he was also shooting arrows.
Just too many. It's just too many.
There is too many, but the show is called fucking Arrow. And then why? I forgot.
But it doesn't make Arrow special, because now everybody shoots arrows.
That's true. But he wasn't in costume for a large part of the back half of the season, because he was like, oh, I quit. Is that what happened? He's like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. And then he just put on a mask, and I was like, I forgot why he quit like 3 episodes later.
Yeah, it was very confusing. This season was just the way that the story moved. Like, as I said, they were ramping up this new guy, this Prometheus guy, and he had killed by accident Felicity's boyfriend.
Oh, that was great, though. That's
completely
great.
Forgotten by the end of the season.
That's true.
You don't even remember that.
Oh, that's why he had to retire Arrow, because he was a murderer.
Yeah,
and they were looking for him.
Yeah.
But man, Chase, the fact that Chase knew who he was and he's working with him, in the mayor's office, like, that was some good tension. And there was the themes of fatherhood were great in this finale. First of all, Manu Bennett, I should have known that was coming. I wasn't expecting him to come back. I was super, super excited. I thought he did a great job. Let's have Slade Wilson next season. Bring him back. God damn, he's fucking great.
I like good Slade Wilson.
Goods, yeah. The Mirakuru is worn off, and he's like, look, I'm not crazy anymore. I'll help you. And I even love the little twist where you thought he turned on him. Like, you had Digger Harkness, Boomerang, who actually turned on him, but Slade was playing the other side. And then the matchups. You had Nissa and Talia al Ghul fighting.
Yeah.
Then you had Oliver and Chase fighting. And then Malcolm Merlin, is he going to be dead for real this time?
It didn't happen on camera.
They didn't show it. He takes the mine, it blows up, and then you don't see it. You see an explosion.
He's not dead. There's no way he's dead.
What's his name? Barrowman has said that he's done with the Arrowverse for a while, but that doesn't mean that you wait a season and then he fucking just shows up again.
Yeah.
But man, I was like, holy shit, did they just blow him up? Probably not. But I like the resolution that it was back on Lian Yu. Okay, so the finale, let's talk about these decisions Chase forced Oliver to make. Like, that was the thing, man. He was leading him around. He had the cards the whole time.
Yeah.
Even to the very end, they find out that the island, Lian Yu, there's bombs everywhere. He puts him on a boat. And and finally we see William. Like, he has his kid. Where's my son? He kept going, where's my son? And he's like, look, you either shoot me, in which case the dead man's trigger is going to go off and the island explodes, or you let me live and I kill your son and your friends live. And I was like, fuck, dude. That's a tough one. As the boat's speeding away, he wounds him. But then I don't understand why he doesn't just knock him out instantly once you have William. You have to knock him out. But the symbolism of Chase shooting himself in the head on a boat like his dad did like 5 years ago before he got on the island, I kind of like that. Like, Chase knew everything about him.
Yeah.
Chase knew, and then the bombs go off. Are they all dead?
No.
How the fuck are they going to survive that?
Who
Aren't
cares?
there tunnels?
You know that they're going to survive.
They're going to come back.
They're not going to kill off anybody.
I'm hoping that, like, that's.
Remember, they made you think that someone was dead, and then who's in the grave, and then
Laurel is still actually dead, though.
Yeah, remember they did that the last season.
Yeah.
They're done with killing people. I don't think they should be killing people.
I bet Deathstroke like grabbed them all, and they remember there's all these tunnels and underground prisons and shit on the island. They jumped into one of those. By the way, there's a writer on the show who goes by the name Speedweed. Best fucking writing name ever. I love the Speedweed episodes. What a great name. But
it's not the worst show, but I mean, it's not the worst show that out of the group. They just got to cut it out with all these Arrow people.
There's a lot of Arrows, but
you could easily fix both shows by just not having. You should have more Arrow people on Flash and more speedsters on Arrow.
How about you flip it around?
Yeah.
So next season it's moving to Thursday.
Okay.
Which is the first time.
Thing?
No, I don't know. That was where Legends was, and they're still going to do Flash and Legends on Tuesdays. Wednesday's going to have like Riverdale and like teen drama bullshit. It'll be Wednesday. And then they're moving into Thursday. It's the first time it's been moved. And Stephen Amell said the theme of season 5 was legacy. And he's like, the theme of season 6 will be family. So whatever that means. I hope he grows the goatee next season. I think that's what the show's.
Why not?
That's what the show is missing. Did you see him on that Celebrity Ninja Warrior this week?
He did pretty good.
But they gave him like an easy fucking Ninja Warrior course, of course, because it's celebrities. But I loved how he's like, I'm doing one more because the salmon ladder was not in those because those other celebrities, there's no way they would have been able to fucking do a salmon ladder. He's like, I'm going to do one more. And he just fucking flies up the salmon ladder, which is awesome. And then starts the next one. I was like, dude, take it all the way to the end. You could do this. You're the most jacked one out of all of them. That was fun. That was all for charity. But I thought this was a greatly improved season. It did capture a lot of the first, second seasons and made up for the shitty last couple of seasons.
It's going in a better direction. If they didn't just fucking wipe their ass with Vigilante.
Yeah, what the fuck happened to Vigilante? That was so random.
And had
stupid.
so many people who, like, why does Talia al Ghul have to have arrows? I just don't know.
All the Al Ghuls have to have
why do they all, it just doesn't make any sense.
All right, it'll be back.
Like, give her a whip or something. Give her something different.
Just a different weapon. That's interesting. They keep all the Arrow people on
oversaturating everything.
Yeah.
I understand that, like, all right, he survived on the island by having that dude teach him, and that's the only skill that he knows. So that's why he uses it. But now everybody all of a sudden has to have arrows. It doesn't make sense.
Also, the timing when the flashbacks end was kind of weird because you see him, like, they're in the same spot in the present in the flashback. But then all of a sudden, it cuts to him with, like, a longer beard and he's more haggard. And that's when he gets rescued. Like, when did that happen? How much time was between that? But I did appreciate, I liked the phone call he made to his mom. It was nice to see his mom again. And he was like, Mom, it's me, Oliver. I was like, oh shit, that's pretty heartfelt.
Yeah. I mean, that was probably the best thing that we got out of those flashbacks.
But the island flashbacks are over. They said there will be flashbacks, but there won't be island flashbacks. They'll probably have more to the story, which is great. How about no flashbacks? How about just drop the flashback thing?
I think they should.
You had to do it for 5 years. I get it that it's come full circle. Just done. Let's just move on. Give him a goatee.
Absolutely.
And get him hooked on heroin and maybe do one of those storylines. Okay, last show we're going to discuss for the show, season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Arguably, to me, the best season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet.
Yeah, boner.
I loved it. We got it moved back a time slot. It got darker, bloodier, sexier a little bit. We got fucking Ghost Rider. They broke it up. I think they solved this 22 episode problem because I was going to mention, remember that one episode of The Flash that was complete filler where they were like, hey, if we just erase Barry's memories for a little bit, then Savitar won't remember. And then they erase too much and then they have to put it all back and like no progress. They're back at square one. I was like, this episode was pointless.
Yeah.
It was so annoying.
Yeah, like why did I just watch this? It's a waste of my time.
Yeah, because they have to fulfill this 22 episode. I think S.H.I.E.L.D. figured out a way to do it. Like I think I said before, this was like reading like trade paperbacks. Like you had the first Ghost Rider chunk, then and then tied into Darkhold and some of the mystical stuff from Doctor Strange, and then you had the LMD chunk, and then you had the framework chunk, and then to end with Ghost Rider versus Ada. That was pretty fucking awesome.
Well, they introduced this new thing, which is the new MacGuffin, which is the Darkhold, which is this book that, depending on who reads it, they tap into different kind of dark power.
Yeah, they get different information.
Yeah. So that pretty much lines up the whole entire season. And that's always kind of looming in the background, the Darkhold. They need to get the Darkhold. They need to make sure the bad guys don't get the Darkhold, because if they have this information, they can do fucked up shit with it.
Ghost Rider's connected to the Darkhold.
Yeah. So it started the season with a great MacGuffin that wasn't like who is this guy? Who is the speedster?
Yeah.
No, it was, all right, where's the Darkhold? Who's got it? What are people doing with it? And who's going to end up with the Darkhold? And how are we going to figure out, like, you know, if people have gotten the Darkhold, what has that done? What has that changed? So it's a good MacGuffin to have. That's not like the typical thing that we've seen.
No, it's not forced either. It made sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, it ties into, I like how it kind of tied into Doctor Strange. It was one of the books that it was should have been in that empty slot at the Sanctum that Wong watches over.
Yeah.
And then, dude, the finale was great. Ada, I thought, was a very good bad guy, and
she was tragic. She wasn't all evil. She was this tragic hero. She was a tragic villain that could have been in here.
Yes, could have been a hero. She was flawed. It was Pinocchio. She just wanted to be just like you, Ruggs. She wanted to be a real boy.
Yeah, I sympathize.
You can sympathize.
But Ada was hot, though.
Dude, the hottest LMD I've ever seen. Holy crap.
Yeah.
And she becomes a real person towards the end of the season, and she's still conflicted, and now she's feeling things like jealousy and rejection from Fitz, and she loses her shit. That's pretty good. I love that.
There were such great moments, though. Like, there were some great moments, like, not only with her being an LMD, but at a certain point, other people were LMDs. They were cloned, and they were like robots.
And some knew that they were robots, and some didn't know that they were robots.
Remember when she drops a car engine on top of Fitz?
Oh shit, that was great.
Was that Fitz that she did it to?
Yeah. It was
that was amazing.
Fitz. Yeah,
that was a great one.
I mean, I loved when they got out of the framework how Fitz was so shaken up still. Because it's like, even Mac, like, I felt for him. He's like, okay, maybe if this isn't real, but I have my daughter, I'm going to stay here. I'd rather have this. And he has no idea who Yo-Yo is, and she has to go in and get him while the world is being deleted around them. Oh, that was really sad. And And then his daughter just disappears from his hands, and Radcliffe just disappears. Like a lot of great.
Well, that's the thing. See, I had a huge problem with this framework thing.
Yes.
I didn't really buy it.
How can this happen?
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit, even for a superhero thing to be, it's too far-fetched that this computer is, because as I said, I mentioned it, the Matrix had all the human beings plugged into it. So all these human beings are living their lives and interacting with each other, but they don't realize that they're plugged into a Matrix. This was like, there was 4 or 5 people plugged into this universe and everything that happens in this universe is completely made up. So I'm like, what computer is able to figure out what everybody's thinking all the time?
It's like predictive text on your iPhone. It's
one thing to create a world and have people live in it, but to have constantly be creating thoughts of every character that you interact with, I'm like, that's a little bridge too far.
That's crazy, and it was based on the idea that May didn't kill that girl in the cavalry, and the girl went on to kill everyone, and then that caused. It was a little convoluted. I guess it's a little contrived. That caused
it was like a huge chain reaction of all these things, like a butterfly effect. Like no robot can extrapolate all that information ever.
I just thought it kind of wrote itself, but I could see where you're coming from. I honestly, I let that go. I was like, oh my God, he's so right. Like this doesn't make sense. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that even in the face of that, it still worked.
Yes. Yes.
Like once I was able to let that go and be like, all right, fuck it, this doesn't make sense. But what are they doing with this story? What are they trying to tell? What exactly is the point of these characters going through this? What are we going to get at the end of the day? You have Ada coming to terms with her humanity.
Yep.
Fitz coming to terms with what his life would have been like had his father been in it.
Yeah.
And all of these little things that are character moments.
And Coulson, like being a teacher, was funny. Teaching hydropropaganda and like knowing something was wrong. So I enjoyed like Daisy and Simmons trying to snap everyone out of while they're in the framework. But again, a lot of things didn't make sense. They're like, instead of getting us out of here, we got to do this thing in the framework to get out of here.
Yeah.
And then you got the Russian guy who there's tons of those dudes.
That dude is in every show.
It really is. Well, dude, there's like 5 of them in this show. They're all LMDs.
Look this dude up. He's in every show. He's like in every fucking show.
Is he the Russian version of Al Young?
He's like the new Al Young. He's like the Al Young of. He's in every fucking show. He's been in like Shameless. He's been in fucking Black Sails. He's in.
Guy gets around.
He's been in every fucking show that's on TV right now.
That's he's got a good agent. I don't know.
Yeah.
What can you say? But I loved Ghost Rider coming back at the end, coming full circle, finding out that he can actually affect the Darkhold LMDs and like burn them, and destroy them. That was awesome.
Well, the guy that he cast as Ghost Rider, Jamie Reyes,
Robbie Reyes. Yeah, Robbie Reyes was great from the beginning, man. He had chemistry with Sky, Daisy, like right away. And you just buy it. So I love the moment where Coulson, the writer, goes into Coulson, and they've made a deal, and we don't know what this deal is. There's a vague tease going, you didn't think that was just it, did you? Like he owes the writer something.
Right.
And I don't know what it is.
But then they leave you with a cliffhanger at the end.
That was also crazy. So everything gets back to normal, and you're like, yay, they're back in the real life, the framework's done, and then these government agents come in and they freeze them. They press a button, and then fucking Coulson wakes up on like a space barge in an asteroid belt, and he's like, time to go to work.
Yeah, so it's a big tease for next year. Are we going to get Sword?
I mean, what's amazing is they didn't really know that they were going to get picked up, I don't think, till the very end. Yeah, people are saying that Sword, which is another kind of like a space version of S.H.I.E.L.D., sort of, or like a global universal version of S.H.I.E.L.D. But what if they had been canceled? I'm wondering how they would have ended this. And clearly, they had time to put in this tease, this cliffhanger, as they got picked up for a season 5, which we know it's going to come back, but it's coming back mid-season on Fridays.
Right.
In the 9 Central, 10 Eastern slot, which is death.
Like, they could have totally closed it out this season.
They could have
just wrapped
closed
a bow
it
on
out. They could have closed it out. That's so I thought that fucking stinger at the end was crazy. I don't know what's going on there.
So the thing I like about S.H.I.E.L.D. is that you don't have everybody with the same fucking powers on all the time.
Yep.
And the bad guy doesn't have the same exact powers as the good guy.
Yep.
So you have that.
I mean, it's very character motivated, which is good.
Yeah, it just makes more sense. There's moments that are frustrating on this show, but not as much. There's totally frustrating moments where Daisy can use her powers and kill a guy and she doesn't, or they don't have as much leeway with the powers too. Like, Sky's got powers, and that's basically it. Everybody else is kind of normal.
Yo-Yo has powers, but that's like the limit on her powers is great.
Yeah,
because she can't be overpowered.
Yeah, so they don't have any speeds. She's a speedster, but she can't just do what all the other speedsters do. She can't go back in time and shit like that.
I mean, they really rewarded fans of the show for sticking through fucking the last season. Like, for them to be desperate, if this is what it took to give us the best season yet, like, just pretend the show is going to get canceled every episode then. And keep going. Like, Fitz and Simmons together are great. Coulson and May's relationship is great. Daisy and the little thing she had with Robbie was great. So they really enrich these characters, and you feel bad for Fitz. Like, he just can't shake like all the shit he did, and it wasn't real, but it affects him so much that he needs to make up for it.
I would have liked to have seen Mockingbird come back for this last episode.
She's in that Orville show.
Yeah.
Which that should be pretty fun. No, and that's the thing. They wrote them off thinking they were going to get a spinoff. That didn't get picked up, so now what? They're done. You didn't have to write them off. You didn't have to write them off. There's not a lot of masks on the show, which also kind of helps.
Yeah.
But
it's a very watchable, high production value, even though they put them in the dregs of humanity late night shift.
Yeah.
Like, they're not on prime time anymore, and they still managed to make a high production, high value show with good acting and decent story writing and it's usually, is it the best writing I've ever seen? No, but it's very, very competent.
Yeah, I think breaking it up into the 3 arcs was the best thing they could do. What could they do next season? Maybe they can bring back Lance and Bobby.
They could.
Maybe he's in space, so maybe there's another dark dimension portal something out there. I don't know. I think they should keep this 3-act structure. They can also play off what happens in the Inhumans.
I don't know. I really don't know where they're going to go with this. I think that with this LMD thing, with the framework, and
we have a Ghost Rider. Like, I would want to see more of Ghost Rider.
So basically what they did this year was they made this anti-Inhuman thing happen.
Right. With the Watchdogs and all that crap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then they moved on to the Darkhold. Right?
Yeah.
And those were, and then the Darkhold led to LMDs, and then the LMD getting a hold of the Darkhold created the Hydraverse.
Yeah, and a really strong magical LMD.
Yes. And then you have, Ghost Rider coming in and, sealing it with a bow.
Weren't they supposed to have Secret Warriors? Was that this season? That was last season. And that was kind of a fucking bust. I like Evil Fitz. That was kind of interesting. There's something with the space. Like, they got all these space movies going on. You got the Inhumans.
You need a bad guy that doesn't go away. That's what they really need.
And it can't be like a mystery. Like, this is the only show that doesn't have the mystery villain reveal like the other shows.
You need somebody, because the great thing about Sherlock Holmes is he's got Moriarty.
Yes.
And he never kills Moriarty. Like, he always thinks he kills him, but he never actually does. He never can get to him.
Yeah, they need one. I would what if they move the whole thing into space? What if it's just space adventures?
I don't know.
Whatever happened to Graviton? Graviton also.
I don't know if space is the answer.
No?
No.
Do you think we'll see more of a tie-in, more like big cameos from the MCU ever?
I don't know. See, no. I mean, really, what this show needs is to basically have a clear-cut bad guy.
Yeah.
And for that bad guy not to go away, and for them to have some kind of directive to get at this bad guy in a way, like they were doing it in the beginning with Hydra, and they had Hydra as the big bad.
Yeah.
They took Hydra down, and it was kind of a weird way that they did it, but they had they keep on having these things that rise up in the ashes of a Hydra, and they're like, no, then they had Hive.
That's right.
But then they kill Hive.
And they kill Hive. Then they had Ada, and then they killed Ada. Now, the thing with Ada, though, it could be possible that her consciousness is somewhere still. Could be downloaded into something else.
That's true.
They have a machine that, like, makes people from scratch. Blood and guts people. I loved how, did you notice how Robbie Reyes made that portal at the very end, and it looked a lot like the Doctor Strange sling ring portals, where he could just now he could just jump around from wherever to wherever.
I really don't know where they're going to go.
Yeah, right? What can you do now that you got this 5th season and they really put you in a time slot where you're really going to have to try hard to get people to pay attention now? Will Inhumans leading it in, before into the mid-season help? I don't know, but this show, it should be bigger, more important than Inhumans. It should be a little bit more important than it is, and it seems they almost got there this season.
I think what they were doing was cool, and then they went off track. There was this point in the show where they were starting to recruit Inhumans.
Oh, yeah.
And then they just fucking got rid of that.
Find all these powered people and get them on your side.
Yeah.
And then, they dropped that.
Yeah, they just got rid of all that.
Still, goddamn good season. All right, Ruggs, this is what I want to know from you. Let's rank these 6 shows from worst to best, all right? Well, I'll start with my number 6.
Okay.
My number 6 is Gotham.
Mine is Legends.
Oh, shit, okay. My number 5 is The Flash, believe it or not.
Oh, shit.
This season of The Flash was not good.
So my number 5 is going to be Gotham.
Okay. My number 4 is Legends. I liked it a little bit better than The Flash. At least it was fun. Which The Flash kind of was not. It was too angsty.
Well, I'm going to go with The Flash next.
Okay. Number 3 for me, Supergirl. I enjoyed Supergirl. Like I said, it reminded me of the early seasons of The Flash.
I'll go along with you on that.
Ooh, we got one the same. All right. Number 2 for me is Arrow this season.
Man, I might even put Supergirl above Arrow.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to put Arrow
at 3.
Yes, and then I'm going to go Supergirl with 2.
Holy shit. Okay. So that we have the both same number 1, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Best of the bunch this season. Absolutely.
Then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's a tough list because
it is.
I could easily throw Gotham at number 2.
Oh no, what? Holy shit. No.
Just because of watchability and being not embarrassed to watch it in front of other people. But
True.
Supergirl, I think, improved to be watchable.
Yes.
It didn't feel like I was watching a maxi pad commercial.
Yes.
I felt like, okay, let's get down to business. Let's start fucking some shit up.
And that's because they didn't have the Cat Grant all over with the woman power. But man, the Flash just bombed this season. That's surprising. They got a lot of work.
You can't do the same thing 3 times. You just can't do it. I'm sorry. Fuck you. You can't do it.
And the show that we thought was going to get axed pulls out fucking all the stops and gives us a great season.
I feel like Legends is a piece of shit and no one should watch it. And it's really joyless for me to watch.
I like watching them. I like
but
these
it's
characters.
okay. It's basically like people that you like, but I don't know. It's like I like the characters. I just don't like anything they do. I don't like any of the stories. I don't like anything any situations that they're in. I just like the characters. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I'm like, If you ask me, do you like this character? Do I like White Canary? Yes. Do I like, Firestorm? Yes. Do I like, fucking Rory? Yes. Do I like, even the fucking Brandon Routh guy?
Adam. Ray.
Yeah, I like him. He's fine.
But you didn't like them jumping around through feudal Japan and World War II and the 70s?
No, because it's like they don't have the production value to do it.
No, they don't. They don't.
It really blows when it's that bad.
Honorable mention for me, I would have put this one at number 1, is Legion.
I would as well.
I fucking loved Legion. Give me more Legion. That was great.
Legion was good. I do think they dragged it out a little bit too much.
I mean, but it was only 8 episodes. How are they? There's not much to drag out.
Dude, there's like 3 episodes in there that didn't even need to exist.
I did think it was funny when you pointed out that they had to literally explain what was going on a chalkboard to the viewer.
It was like it didn't even matter. After you watch that episode, nothing mattered. You could have just watched that episode and been all caught up at that point.
But the feeling of the show, the atmosphere, the vibe, dude, the way they had movie style credits and it had me, it hooked me. It was beautifully acted, really well shot. It looked great.
Yeah, it was definitely the most artistic of the bunch. It was definitely the most well filmed, well acted, well conceived, and it was on rails. It was completely, they knew what they wanted to do with it. It was so focused. I do think that even though it was focused, that they meandered a little bit too much. Like they had an idea what they wanted to do. They were focused on that, but they let it breathe too much.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? It's like they know what they wanted to do, but they indulged themselves a little too much.
I see what you're saying. It took maybe 1 or 2 episodes too long for them to get there.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed learning some of the weird character shit. So summertime, there's a couple of things coming back that you may or may not enjoy. Fear the Walking Dead's coming back.
Not even going to look at it.
You're not going to watch it? No, nothing?
No need.
I forget what the fuck was happening. Were they in Mexico? It's just stupid. I still don't like anybody on the show. I might just watch it because there's nothing else to fucking watch during summer. Preacher season 2 is coming back. This I am very excited for.
I'll watch it. I'm not like super high on that show, but I'll watch it.
That show kind of dragged for me more than Legion did, that first season of Preacher.
Yeah, Legion way spades better.
Yeah, Legion is fucking great. So here's the thing, right? Going forward, Ruggs, are you going to continue to watch these 6 shows that we just talked about?
I mean, I could not stop watching Legends right now.
Yeah, that's true. And the only reason I ask is because do you know the amount of fucking new shows that are coming out in 2017, 2018? Holy shit. So all of that stuff has been renewed that we talk about. We're going to get new seasons of all those shows.
So is there like a list of all these new shows?
There is. It's in the show notes. It says new shows for 2017. Here we go. Black Lightning.
Not watching it.
Mid-season for the CW. Not watching? Okay.
I mean, I'll watch it. Like, I'll give it 2 episodes, but the way that the suit looks is so ridiculous.
Oh, my God. That suit looked horrible in the trailer, but I really love the whole, urban black superhero feel of the thing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, listen, if the content grabs me, I'll stick with it, but I really don't like the suit.
Yeah.
And I don't see them changing the suit, so it's going to be hard for me to watch it if I'm just like, this looks terrible. I can't.
No, I agree. That's going to be a big deal breaker. This is coming back 2018 mid-season.
Cloak. You got to get the suit right. You got to do it.
They got to fix that. Hopefully, what we saw maybe was like an early version, and then he realizes something, or maybe it was the flashbacks. I don't know. Cloak and Dagger.
I'll give it a couple episodes.
I want to check out Cloak and Dagger. I kind of like the teaser. Constantine animated on CWC. These are going to be 10-minute episodes, 5 or 6.
All right. I'll watch it when they combine them all together.
Yeah. I'm not going to seek them out, but I do. Matt Ryan's voicing this, so I'm kind of curious.
Great.
The Defenders on Netflix, of course, in August.
That's a no-brainer.
That's a definite. I read, and there's an article I read that said that the first season of Defenders will take place in 48 hours.
Oh, shit.
8 episodes. It's going to take place in 2 days.
Okay.
I don't know if that's good or bad. I think that's kind of good because they're going to, or it might drag. I don't know. That'll be interesting. Next we have, also on CWC, an animated series. It's called Freedom Fighters, The Ray. It is, it's the first gay superhero to star in his own animated series. And I don't know this guy. He's called The Rays, introduced by Grant Morrison and Jim Lee. It dates back to 1973, but it's based on a newer version introduced by Morrison and Jim Lee in 2015, The Multiversity. Raymond Ray Terrell is a reporter who uncovers a group of scientists working on a secret government project that transforms light into a weapon of mass destruction. He's exposed to a genetic light bomb that imbues him with light-based powers, calls himself The Ray. He's recruited by Uncle Sam. He's a gay cartoon hero. Well, it's pretty good.
Yeah, go for it.
The Gifted on Fox. Fox's X-Men TV show that's so X-Men-y. I'm definitely watching The fucking Gifted.
If the production value of this show is good and this is a fun show to watch, I will easily drop Arrowverse shows to watch
for
this.
The Gifted, huh?
Yeah.
That's interesting. We'll see if that can sustain. So they're doing that. Have you read that limited series called Happy? Remember Happy? It's coming on Sci-Fi. Happy is an adaptation of the 2012 Image Comics miniseries by Grant Morrison and artist Derek Robertson. Christopher Maloney from Law & Order stars as Nick Sachs, an intoxicated, corrupt former police officer turned hitman, adrift in a world of casual murder, soulless sex, and betrayal. When a hit goes wrong, leaving Nick wounded, and with the police and the mob on his tail, his life is forever changed by a tiny, relentlessly positive, imaginary, blue-winged horse named Happy.
Oh, shit.
Voiced by SNL veteran Bobby Moynihan. This is I read this. I bought it. It's really weird. It's a little tiny blue horse with wings that talks to this guy that only he can see.
I'm curious, but I don't see myself sticking with it.
This is coming to Sci-Fi. Then we have the Inhumans on ABC with its debut September 1st in IMAX theaters, and then September.
I'm going to definitely watch this. It's not too many episodes of this, right?
No, I think it's going to be a 8 or 10 episode base. Will you go see it in IMAX in the theater?
No.
They're going to show the first 2 hours. That'll be interesting to see if anybody goes to see this in the theaters. But September 26th, I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully they can improve fucking Medusa's wig. Krypton.
I'm not even going to turn this shit on unless it gets rave reviews.
Yes, let's make a show about something nobody cares about. Superman's fucking grandfather.
If this show gets awesome reviews, and people are like, "Oh, this shit is fucking legit," then I'll check it out.
I will check out the pilot, but I'm with you. It's got to be really good because I can't imagine. I really don't. I don't even care. I barely care reading about it.
Marvel's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, it's the successor to the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon on Disney XD. This is going to be like the MCU, like Tom Holland Spider-Man in this. So, I don't know. That should be interesting. I'm always interested when they reboot the animated Spider-Man shows. Sometimes to great success, sometimes to not, like Ultimate Spider-Man, which I did watch, and then I was like, this is stupid. New Warriors on Freeform with the Squirrel Girl.
Okay.
Speedball, Microbe, Mr. Immortal.
We'll see if
Night Thrasher.
If it's like a joke, then I won't watch it.
They're calling this the first live action comedy from Marvel Television.
I don't know. I don't see myself watching it.
It will be a comedy. Next we have, this is still all this season, people. These are all the shows. The Punisher on Netflix is coming out at some point.
For me, a comedy based on superheroes has got to be a movie. It's got to be a one and done. Like a Deadpool. I don't want to tune in every week and see fucking.
Well, we saw how well Powerless works.
Yeah, I just don't want to tune in. That's like a one-time sit-down thing. You get 2 hours of laughs and then you're done with it. I don't see myself committing myself every week watching episodes of this.
I can see your point. This will also only be, it's a 10-episode order for New Warriors. The Punisher on Netflix, no-brainer, of course.
Yeah,
obviously. You're not going to watch this. You got Karen Page coming back, and Bernthal. That's going to be awesome. Runaways on Hulu. This is the book by Brian K. Vaughan and Adrian Alfona. Runaway centers on 6 teenagers who can barely stand each other but must nevertheless unite to defeat a common foe, their parents, who they discover are supervillains, and in a group called The Pride.
If this year doesn't kill the market, I don't know
Jesus
what will.
Christ. Rex, I remember you turned me on to this long time ago.
What, The Runaways?
Yeah.
Oh, The Runaways is great, but I'm just like, at this point in time, I'm so overloaded with shit. I'm like, I don't even care anymore.
We're not done. There's more. The Tick is getting got picked up again
unnecessarily
with Peter Serafinowicz on Amazon Prime. Ben Edlund's writing, producing. He's heavily involved. He's very excited about this version of The Tick. It's going to be, what he's doing is he's spoofing all the dark superheroes we have now. So he's kind of updated the spoof of nature. I mean, the whole thing was a parody of superheroes, but now he's going to go after the current dark set of superheroes. I don't know. I love The Tick. I might have to watch some of this.
I would rather watch The Tick than Squirrel Girl.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Tick wins over Squirrel Girl. These last two are on the Warner Brothers' new DC Comics branded digital service, Live Action Titans. Teen Titans with Dick Grayson, presumably as Nightwing, and Beast Boy, and Starfire, and Raven. This written by Johns and Akiva Goldsman, Greg Berlanti. This is going to launch. So this show and the next show, Young Justice Outsiders, which is the third season of the return of the awesome Young Justice by Greg Weisman. I think their digital service is really looking toward these shows to get people to sign on. But dude, that's 16 shows on top of everything that's airing all in the next year.
Yeah, I can't.
Holy shit!
I can only give a fuck about maybe like five of these shows.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's too much. I mean,
dude, this is where you're gonna separate the men from the boys, because like most people don't have time for all this watching all this shit.
No fucking way. And I mean, you can go and binge and watch it afterwards. I think the live ratings, they're gonna be. We are getting to the point where you're cannibalizing the market now a little bit. And
no, it's way too many.
You're right. Like the good stuff has to rise to the top now.
I would like to see like not even like a quarter of these shows.
But again, remember when we started this show, we were like, man, we're 40 years old and we're watching this because we had shit. But now they're going to just ruin it. Now they're just going to overload it and kill it.
Well, the thing is this is what you have out there. You have the Arrowverse and the CW, which is like the low budget, but they understand what to do for the most part to keep it going. They have a formula. It works. It doesn't work for everybody. Like people like me who have watched a lot of TV and seen a lot of movies is going to be like, get bored really quickly with the same plot devices that they use. But they do serve a function and they do have entertainment value for that. Then you go a step up and then you see like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, where they're a little bit more production value. Then you go up even more, another step, and then you get into the Netflix shows.
Yeah. Legion also, I think that brought it up a step.
Legion also, yeah. So you're getting up there. If they manage to create more of those that are on that higher step, it might be interesting. But I think that if those shows that they make that are a little bit on the higher production value side, a little bit more mature,
yeah,
like this Gifted looks like it could be something like that.
Yeah.
We're going to phase out the other ones. Like the Arrowverses are not going to be able to really play.
Well, yeah. They're going to seem unnecessary and cheap.
Yeah.
In comparison.
They only work as like a soap opera.
Fox is going to be interesting because they're going to have a fucking Batman show and an X-Men show. Like, that's weird.
It just seems weird to me that Marvel, who's got Disney,
yeah,
and Freeform and all this other stuff, is launching these shows, but they're launching like the fucking weakest milquetoast shit that they can launch. Like, let's go some big guns. You got like, you're putting everything on Netflix, but I mean,
they also, in terms of the rights of the X-Men, like I think Anthony said this before, and if you think about it, I think they still own the rights to the X-Men on TV because of the animation, all the X-Men cartoons. I think they sold the movie rights. So the fact that they have some control over their mutant characters on television in conjunction with Fox, I don't know, but I think that can help the Gifted anyways. Finally, Ruggs, I wanted us to recommend a couple of things. First of all, I want to know what you think of American Gods.
I haven't watched it.
You haven't watched any of it?
No. I actually sat down to watch it.
Yeah.
I watched about like 15, 20 minutes and I fell asleep.
Well, it's borderline, like it's on the bubble of it being too slow, but also being not too slow. It's visually amazing. Like they've done some crazy shit on there already.
But why should I watch it?
Because Ian McShane, dude. Because of fucking Ian McShane is the best. Here's the thing that I want watching this. I'm like, it's so Neil Gaiman. Like I could see them make a Sandman TV show in this style.
Yeah, but why should I watch it?
There's honestly, okay. Well, there's a woman that sucks men up into her vagina while they're having sex.
Yeah, but why should I watch it?
there's
like, I could tell people like why I watch Fargo.
Yeah,
because you're watching like a very expertly crafted fucking film. It's basically a film unfolding as a TV show.
Yeah.
That has multiple layers,
yeah,
and has like all of these interwoven plots and all these great things that happen. And there's no powers or any gimmicks there. It's just people going through lives, and they create these characters that are so crazy. Like there's this one character that they created that is a guy who throws up. He's bulimic,
yeah,
and since he's bulimic, his teeth are all fucked up,
yeah,
and they're constantly zooming in on his teeth and what he does with his teeth. And it's just so gross, but like at the same time, it's such genius because it makes you uncomfortable. And they're doing it on purpose. Everything is purposeful in its direction. Same thing with Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Just like Breaking Bad. All of those shows were like, they were art. All right. And when I listen, I go, tell me why I should watch American Gods. And then like, it's like, there's a vagina lady. Okay.
But you know what? You are right. 5 episodes in, I cannot tell you why you should watch it because there's still like stuff's just happening. I don't really know what's going on, or there's old gods and new gods. They keep introducing these histories of these gods.
If you were talking about even Legion, Legion was expertly directed, and there was a definite target of what he wanted to show you.
Yep.
As this guy's mental breakdown and his confusion.
Yep.
And you get this like different sides of his personality, and then you wonder what reality is when you're watching it, and it's all about questioning: am I crazy or am I have powers?
Right.
What do I have?
Yep.
Who are my friends? Who are not my friends? Like that, you could say that easily. You could easily like explain why you should be watching this to somebody. But I've asked like 3 or 4 people, why should I watch American Gods? And I never got like a clear answer.
No, and I can't tell you because it's still like every episode seems to just be setting up more things, and you're still not sure where it's going. There's only 8 episodes. They're 5 in. Maybe once it ends and you binge it, it makes sense. But
I think by the 3rd episode, you should have an idea.
No, I agree. They take, the 4th episode takes a side plot and gives you backstory on this one character that's not even in the book, and it really does not progress the story at all. It kind of does a Walking Dead thing.
I completely turned you around to a show I've never seen.
It's yeah. You know what? The last episode, like I struggled. I had to really work to stay engaged and watch it. And I was like, man, I don't know about this show anymore.
Right.
Wow.
So don't recommend it then.
Okay, no recommendations.
Now, do you have another recommendation?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
I binged a lot of Brown content this weekend, and I don't mean shit scat videos.
Oh, shit.
I mean shows.
Oh, that's what I was watching.
That's what you're watching? I mean shows for and by,
Why do they call it scat?
I don't know. That's a good question. Why are shit videos called scat? I'm talking about Pakis and Indian people. Master of None. I finally finished the 1st season. I watched the 2nd season. Holy crap. It's really is. It's masterful. What a great 2nd season. Aziz Ansari kills it. Some of the best episodes of the 2nd season are the episodes that aren't even about him, that are about the side characters, like the Thanksgiving episode and the Isle of New York episode. And then it's so real, like living in New York. I feel like it's so real.
The one thing I loved the 2nd season of Master of None.
Yeah.
And I think that Aziz Ansari is actually doing something really great. Like he had this great narrative that he pushed throughout this whole season of him wrestling with his feelings for this girl and his ex-girlfriend and what he should do to move on. And they had so many different things. But I do think he's shoehorning a lot of this this racial stuff in there when he's lowering himself by doing that.
I disagree. Like in the first season, the whole Fisher Stevens bit where his buddy didn't know that he's not an Indian actor. I was like, that's fucking brilliant because all brown people thought that initially. They're like, wait a minute, that's not an Indian dude.
But that's funny.
Yeah.
But like when it's just thrown in all the time, like obviously, like he wrote the show so he could date whenever he wants, any kind of woman he wants to date, and there doesn't have to be a problem all the time, or there doesn't have to be a thing where he's acknowledging it all the time. I don't know. I just feel like it's shoehorned in there a little bit too much. So I do find like this girl from Italy like loves him.
Yeah.
All right. There's no need, but so in that episode's you don't need to, like he's moved beyond that. All right. But then all of a sudden he's in another episode with someone else that's not that story. And all of a sudden it's about that. He's always finds a way back to it. So I'm like, you don't have to do that. Like, I mean,
we get the point.
Well, no, it's not that. It's like the whole point of the show is that you don't want, you want to stop thinking of Aziz Ansari as being the representation for any kind of thing. You just want to think of him as a person.
Yeah. As a funny person.
Yeah.
I see. I didn't think I don't know. I appreciated that kind of like the whole, where he goes to the barbecue festival and skips his prayers on the end of Ramadan. And
that was great.
Yeah.
That was great in its way because it was self-referential.
Yeah.
He's talking about like his view on how like ridiculous religion is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. But that's fine. But then when they're doing other stuff and then it's just out of left field. Like, remember they had the Italian girl make a joke about she doesn't like curry people.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, why would you do that? You shoehorn that in there.
I see what you're saying.
And you had a moment of like thinking that she was racist. I'm like, why? She obviously loves you. She wants to be around you all the time. Why would you put that in there? That's just a dumb thing to put in. I don't know. I feel like that sometimes is shoehorned in there.
That's like Anthony when he's just like, hey, you terrorist fuck. And I'm like, yeah, I'll blow you up.
Yeah.
It's just, I thought that she was just joking, but
it was innocuous,
man. But that was heart wrenching just to be, think about like she's engaged and they clearly love each other. And, what and then he runs into Rachel like randomly in New York. I'm like, that is so fucking New York. First of all, you will run into the person you don't want when you don't expect out of nowhere. So some of the dialogue to me was so
him and his giant friend are hilarious.
Oh, Arnold is great. Yes, his big white buddy. Highly recommend Master of None. And then I'm just going to follow that up with I watched Hassan Minhaj has a Netflix comedy special called Homecoming King.
Okay.
Holy shit, that's really funny. And he talks more about his life growing up and, being born here and dating a white girl. And it's fucking great. Like, it's so well constructed on Netflix. So those are my recommendations. Not American Gods, I guess, until it's over, because it really is about nothing, sort of.
Yeah. I mean, American Gods, I feel Master of None, I had such an amazing time watching. Yeah. I wanted to binge watch it.
Yep.
It's
a great watch. Yeah.
It was touching. It was artfully done. That's another thing that I don't want to go unnoticed, that he hired some really good directors.
He went and he lived in Italy for real and studied Italian movies. In the first episode, there's a lot of nods to the Italian filmmakers. I mean, the first episode's in black and white. It's like his version of an Italian Fellini movie.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah. Very fun.
Yeah.
Very funny.
But check out that Hassan Minhaj Homecoming King Netflix special. I'd love to know.
I haven't seen that. I'll check it out.
What
eventually.
you think? It just came out. And listener, let us know what was your favorite show this season. Just tweet us, send us an email, show@jockanerd.com. Which of these comic book TV shows did it for you and which didn't? We'd love to know, and we will share it on the show. And that's all I got, man. That's the show. Ruggs, any other final thoughts?
I don't know. This was a weird year for TV. Yeah. I'm just saying, watch Fargo, watch Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Those are great shows. And I don't know. I mean, hopefully next year we're going to have so much more shit to pick from. Yeah. And we could stop watching some of the garbage that's where they do the same fucking thing every season, and they have to learn not to do that shit anymore.
Why did I watch
fucking laughable?
I don't know. No. I mean, this I mean, in movies too. 2018, it's going to be a fucking bubble with very thin edges, man. This thing is about to blow up.
It's weird because everything eats itself eventually.
Yeah.
You let something kind of grow and then it just falls and collapses and then it makes room for something else. I don't know what the next thing is going to be.
Yeah.
If it's going to be superheroes, if it's going to be, I know I saw the John Wick movie.
Yeah.
The second one.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What a crazy ass fucking movie.
Like good crazy?
It reminded me of watching a Chow Yun-Fat movie.
Oh. That's not bad.
Did you see John Wick?
I still got to watch the first one.
Okay. The first one's good and the second one's good. First one's a little bit better as a movie, but the second one, he kills so many people.
That's awesome.
With just guns. Like Chow Yun-Fat style.
Yeah.
And not like flying through the air like John Woo direction. Everything is just meticulously choreographed. And it's not like they never even cut to another shot. They just watch Keanu Reeves just dismantle all these people.
Wow.
Like in one take.
Like, it's like cool. Is it like a cool? Because the thing about the John Woo shit, it was like cool, contrived action.
No, it is contrived, but it's to the point where there is a realism to it.
Oh,
there is there is a realism to it.
Okay.
I mean, the shit that happens there is impossible. There's no way he wouldn't be dead.
Right.
But like the fact that he's always reloading. He's always out of bullets.
Well, that's great. You never see that.
You see him methodically plan. Okay, I got to grab this guy's gun, hit him with it, turn around, shoot these 4 guys.
Yeah.
Get rid of this gun.
Yeah.
Take the guy's gun that I just knocked down. Oh, he's got a knife. Let me grab the knife. And it's like you could see the thought process as he's walking into a room of how he's going to grab that guy's weapon.
That sounds badass.
So in that sense, it's very cool.
I hope the Punisher is like that. It kind of sounds like the Punisher.
Oh, it's definitely if the Punisher was anything like John Wick, it would be fucking amazing.
All right, I got to watch these. I got to watch both of these movies then. That soun's pretty good.
Watch the first one. The first one's good.
Yeah.
The second one's also good. It's not as good as the first one, but there's a couple of scenes where like the story and all the cool world building that they do in the first one isn't in the second one as much, but there is these very complicated, like 1,000 people running at John Wick with guns, and somehow he doesn't get shot.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I like that he's reloading though. That's an important detail.
Okay, there's this one point where he has this they're like, just give me a gun. I need to do this. And so they give him a gun that only shoots 7 bullets.
Okay.
And it's like Deadpool. Like, how he has every bullet counted before he shoots somebody with it. It's kind of like along the same lines. But that joke's over real fast.
Oh, man. Sounds badass. Tell you what, I can't believe it's Keanu, but it sounds badass.
And then I watched Fast and Furious 8.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right, you know what? You tell me about that in the post show because I want to know what you think.
Okay, cool.
Ruggs, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugboy. So go there and you can see me tweeting other people's stuff because they do it better than I do.
Go tweet a slack hole. And listen, listener, subscribe to the show in whatever podcast app you get. That way you'll get it automatically every week. And of course, the most important thing, tell a friend, spread the word, post the show, grab your friend's phone, subscribe him, give him one of these, and then run away like a maniac. We will love you forever. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
And I'm not Anthony.
He's the Rug Boy.
Yeah. Catch you next time, motherfuckers.
I'm the nerd.
Get your hand off my penis!
Sorry.